Damos comienzo a la conferencia de prensa de la primera piedra de lo que va a ser el Puerto Rico Film District. Le damos las gracias a la prensa y a todos los visitantes que tenemos con nosotros en la mañana de hoy y queremos reconocer a algunas personas que tenemos aquí en tarima, el señor José Fullana de FR Construction, el arquitecto Ricardo Álvarez Díaz de Álvarez Díaz Villalón, el señor Richard Abramson, socio de los estudios, el señor Keith St.Clair, presidente de St.Clair Collection, el señor Pedro Rúa, director ejecutivo de la Corporación de Cine de Puerto Rico, la señora Carla Campos, directora ejecutiva de la Compañía de Turismo de Puerto Rico, el licenciado Anthony Maceira, director ejecutivo de la Autoridad de Puertos, honorable Eduardo Charbonnier, representante del Precinto 1 de San Juan, honorable Manuel Lavoy Rivera, secretario de Desarrollo Económico, y el honorable gobernador de Puerto Rico, Ricardo Roselló. Para comenzar la tarde, los voy a dejar con el socio de los estudios, el señor Richard Abramson, para que nos hable un poco del proyecto.
Thank you, Sandra. This is an important day for me, obviously, personally, but again, I think it's a great day for Puerto Rico. A couple of years ago, actually about 3 or 4 years ago, I was sitting around trying to decide what the next chapter of my life was going to be. And I knew that I was going to be selling my company eventually and wanted to do something back in the film business. And I started looking around and talked to some people, and they said, you know, you really ought to think about Puerto Rico. And I said, you know, I've never even been there, which is strange. And so I came here looking for a partner, looking for someone that I could work with and trust and have as a colleague. And there was a couple things that I knew. I knew that there had been a long history of people that tried to do this and didn't do it. For whatever reason, they just didn't do it. And I thought, okay, good, that makes it even better because when we accomplish this, it'll be a greater accomplishment. And I met with some people here, and I was kind of so-so about it. And then I ran into this guy who's not even paying attention. And I said, that's the guy. And that has been the guy because, as you know, with everything that's happened here and everything that's happening around, this is a difficult thing to pull off, and he pulled it off. I have great gratitude to him. I also want to thank the governor for his support and all the people that are up here that have really gotten behind us to really do something. I want to pay special attention to a guy who's in the back there by the name of Carlos Calancho, who played a big role for us. And there's a lot of other people, but they're not here, so they won't know what I said and what I didn't say. But the people that are here, I want to thank very much. And thank you for coming.
Y ahora tengo el placer y el honor de presentar al señor Keith St.Clair, presidente de St.Clair Collection y el visionario detrás de este gran proyecto.
I'm getting used to microphones, eh? Those of you that were there last Thursday at the launch of the Family Foundation for Puerto Rico and the launch of my CD called The Hurricane Sessions, available on YouTube, Amazon, all the stations. Go buy it, because all the money goes to Puerto Rico. So let's get that moving. But listen, this is an important day for Rich. It's an important day for me. It's an important day for my family. But it is, most importantly, a very, very important day for Puerto Rico. 3 years ago and 4 weeks, we bought the first asset in Puerto Rico. What was the old ESJ Towers, now partially Mare and soon to be fully branded. Fast forward 3 years, we have 7 major construction projects approaching $500 million worth of commitment to Puerto Rico and eventually creating 6,000 to 8,000 jobs in Puerto Rico. That comes, and I know the governor's heard this and all these estimable politicians have heard it, but I do consider myself to be a Boricua. I live here, I eat here, I breathe here, and the 2 people in the front row there, my son Richard, stand up Richard, because you are such a blessing and you've done such a great job. And just 3 seats over from him is his future stepmother, I guess. Noemi and I are getting married on the 28th of this month. So, a este momento, dos boricua en mi casa. Huh? So, we'll be rolling there. But in addition to the 7 projects, we now have 11 other businesses on the island, ranging from medical tourism to construction to a whole range of things that we're doing. If you go to the airport today, you'll start to see a business called Ticket to Puerto Rico all over the airport. You go to the malls, you'll see Ticket to Puerto Rico. We are in the business of promoting Puerto Rico, and in 3 weeks' time, you'll see a new promotion for Isla Verde Beach when we launch islaverdebeach.com to promote Isla Verde Beach against the Waikiki beaches, the South Beach, the Miami beaches of the world. But it's really been a very spectacular month, and I want to focus on the last 12 days and the next 20. Those 30 days are very significant. 2 Thursdays ago, we launched the Lanais at Mare, a registry project for RCI, which is now in Isla Verde. This week, we topped off the Jade Hotel, the first new ground-up hotel for 25 years to be built in Isla Verde. We'll be having a big party on the 15th of December because we'll be opening that new hotel then, and that will be the first brand new hotel in Isla Verde. Last Thursday, we launched the St.Clair Family Foundation, which is for Puerto Rico. It's for education, it's for scholarships, it's for children's medical improvement, and it's to support orphanages in Puerto Rico for those children less beneficial than our kids. And we're going to make a hell of a difference through that foundation. Those of you who were at the concert, we had a blast. Giancarlos Canella, my singing partner, is here today. Just get my record out there, brother. And at the end of the month, I'm getting married. So launch a property, top off a property, start a studio, have a concert, launch a family foundation. What the hell are we going to do next month? I have no idea. But this is the beginning of a vision here. 40-plus acres here. The concept to create a movie studio. This is going to be a completely new campus. What you see behind us down to the ocean is a new campus. We're going to be building over 500,000 square feet of a campus here, an integrated ecosystem for tourism and for film, 5 sound stages, offices, changing rooms, a mill, a backlot. We're going to create a museum for the history of Puerto Rican film. And I'm delighted that Marcus Zurinaga's here today, because if there's a beacon for the film industry here, it's that man. And one of my investments is in his project Santurce, which is going to be a great project for Puerto Rico. Marcus, you're a great person. In addition to the Museum of Film, we're going to create a film festival center. We want to have an annual Puerto Rico film festival here for young Puerto Ricans to grow. We're also going to build on this campus a university of film. We're going to start to educate and create an opportunity for young Puerto Ricans to be future directors, to be future actors, to be future scriptwriters, to be future stunt people in the film industry. And in addition to that, I have to thank Omar Marrero and Manuel Laboy, because before this press conference this morning, we signed the LOIs to develop the back 2 pieces of this land as well, which is going to be the university site, and it's also going to be here in Puerto Rico, the first film-themed hotel. We're going to put a film movie-themed hotel, hopefully on the water at the back. And then the most important thing, more important than all of that, we want to create a ferry, a small ferry that links Bacardi, Old San Juan, and the movie studio, so that you have an opportunity as a tourist here, those 1.6, 1.8, future 2.8 million tourists coming to San Juan will have the ability, a la Disney, a la Universal, to come here on a little ferry and go from Bacardi, go into the movie studios, see a hotel, go to Old San Juan, and have that triangle be an amazing opportunity for the future of tourism. Those of you that follow film will have seen that the Georgia state, the state of Georgia, put out their film numbers for 2017 last week. amazing numbers. Georgia, 12 months, 2.7 billion of direct films and 6.8 billion of indirect revenues. 9.5 billion of film direct and indirect revenue in one state. Mr. Governor, that's what we should do here. We have to develop this 100 by 35 island as a set-ready environment. This is the ultimate film destination, and our vision and drive is to make that happen. All we ask you to do is to create an environment for us that is globally and economically competitive, and let us do the rest. We will drive this engine like you've never seen before. Interestingly, there are some people here from Georgia, the Aru brothers and their people, who are here to look and try and help with the industry in Puerto Rico, and we're great that they're here. It's critical as we embark on this investment here that we get everybody's support, we create the jobs we need to create, and we make sure that we're globally competitive. So many firsts here today. A first studio, a first integrated campus, a first campus that links education with film, with tourism, and all the other amazing things that we can do here in Puerto Rico. I want to finish by going back to two firsts that happened a long time ago. Those of you who've heard me speak before may have heard this, but in 1903, two guys called Orville and Wilbur Wright took the little piece of wood 100 feet, and man flew for the first time. Fast forward 100 plus years since that, and now you can go to any square meter in the world, and two pilots will be throttling forward 100, 200 tons of metal, and as they take off, they can tell you, I am going to land you on another square meter of concrete somewhere on the opposite side of the world. They will tell you in 16 hours, 14 minutes, and 26 seconds, I'm going to put you into Hong Kong. That's a big difference from a little piece of wood flying 100 feet. In 1953, Sherpa Tenzing and Edmund Hillary became the first people to climb Mount Everest. It took, from the birth of Christ, if you follow the Christian calendar, it took man 1,903 years to fly and 1,953 years to get to the top of Everest. Think about it. That's progress. But nobody gets to the top of Everest and nobody flies a plane without a base camp and a team. What we've created in the past 3 years here in Puerto Rico is an amazing base camp. We have the Sherpas, we have the engineers, we have the technicians. My executive group are all here today. And guys, I want to thank you for two things. One, believing in me, and two, putting up with me. Because I'm a tough person to put up with, I know that. But I appreciate that. And if Puerto Rico owes anybody a debt of gratitude, it owes those 7 guys and girls back there. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. You're an amazing group. Puerto Rico is an amazing place. I said to the young man sitting over there last week, I said, as you build your career and as you develop your life, always dream big. If your dreams don't scare you, I don't think you're dreaming big enough. Now is the time for Puerto Rico to dream big, have a vision, drive what Governor Roselló and his team are trying to do, and make Puerto Rico the #1 place on the destination in the globe for tourism and film. What we're doing here today is we're putting what Confucius said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step. This step today is the beginning of an amazing journey for Puerto Rico, an amazing journey for my family. Next time I speak in public, I'll be a married Boricua. Thank you very much.
Y ahora dejo ante ustedes el gobernador de Puerto Rico, honorable Ricardo Roselló.
I don't know how I'm going to top that one. but I will certainly try. Thank you, Keith, for your vision. Thank you, Rich, for your commitment to Puerto Rico. I want to thank our staff and all of the members here that are joining us, that are a critical part to making this happen. On the one side, you have challenges, and on the other side, you have opportunities. What can bridge that gap is having a vision and having the will to execute and getting to the other side. I think this is what we're seeing right now, and this is one of the values that I very much cherish from Keith, from his team, that they are willing to dream big, think big, and follow through with great execution. It is a value system that we are incorporating into our government as well. I recently went to Aspen to showcase what the vision for Puerto Rico is, and I would like to briefly talk about that because I think it is clearly aligned with what is going on over here. I think that I claimed in Aspen that Puerto Rico is the spot for investment right now. It is the spot for investment. Yes, the island that was ravaged by a hurricane that our nation had never seen before now has the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to identify those challenges, leverage all of those opportunities, and execute moving forward so that we can make Puerto Rico that prime destination for tourism, for investment, for folks to come over here. I see Puerto Rico as a place that's open for business, as the connector of the Americas. I see Puerto Rico as a platform for innovation, and I see Puerto Rico as the destination of the human cloud, where instead of what's going on today, where folks are leaving the island, we can turn that back and we can invite others to come to Puerto Rico. Now, in order to get there, we need to recognize that we need to make some changes, make some strong decisions right now, and execute fully forward to achieve those goals. These changes and these opportunities are not only in brick and mortar, they're also in policy, and they're also in mindset changes. So from now on, our path to a new Puerto Rico carries with it the same aspirations and the same values that Keith and Rich have so embarked in the past couple of years here in Puerto Rico. One where we're committed to changing the grasp of government so that we can become a facilitator, a smaller government, much more effective, that can invite investment and growth to Puerto Rico, where we can leverage a whole set of new and old incentives that have been laid upon Puerto Rico, and with the leadership of Manuel Lavoy, we've been able to promote them with more effectiveness, where we can leverage the possibly over $50 billion that are going to come to Puerto Rico to rebuild, and not only use that for walls or for street, but also for education, for healthcare, for capacity building, where we can start defining what the policy going forward for a new Puerto Rico is, using all of those assets. Where we can have a vision for a Puerto Rico that has better housing and transition from informal housing to formal housing, and get people away from harm's way into resilient homes, where we can have a world-class education system so that folks will want to bring their kids over here, where we can have access to healthcare all around the island without limitations, and where we can feel safe moving forward. In that recipe for success, I tell you that it's like Keith and myself were somewhat aligned. That key to success for investment involves tourism, which, with the leadership of Carla Campos, we've been seeing how tourism is growing now, in spite of many of the challenges that we've had in the past, where we see the film industry as a great potential for growth and want to make Puerto Rico that prime spot to make films and to promote Puerto Rico, where medical tourism is of great opportunity. Puerto Rico has the gold standard of care established in the United States at a lower cost. That gives us a unique opportunity to leverage that market and to bring folks over to this beautiful island. All of those things are possible, but we need to execute. So right now, while some may see the challenges, some may see a lot of the obstacles, what we want to do over here is have more folks see the vision. And what I am committed towards doing is, with this team, with our collaborators, such as Keith and Rich and others, we can bridge that gap in Puerto Rico from the challenges to the opportunities, establishing a strong vision and a strong commitment towards executing. Only doing that, only a commitment to innovating, to thinking big, and to executing will allow us to look at this old building and see not an old building, but see what can be a film district of world-class proportions being established here in Puerto Rico, seeing what can be the district life on the other side, being a place that can attract more tourism and more people to Puerto Rico, visualizing the ports with the leadership of Anthony Maceira being filled with all of those cruise ships, having folks coming to Puerto Rico because they want to be part of the exciting and vibrant lifestyle that we can exhibit here. That is the goal, that is the path, that is the commitment, and my final words to you are, doesn't matter how many obstacles are in the way, doesn't matter how many status quo issues we have to deal with, we will defeat all of those obstacles, and we will be on our path to building a stronger and better Puerto Rico. Thank you, and God bless you.
Muy bien, vamos a iniciar la conferencia de prensa. Muy buenas tardes ya a todos. Iniciamos con preguntas del tema primero.
Saludos. En el comunicado se menciona que pues la empresa va a estar recibiendo unos incentivos por concepto de la Ley 27. Quisiera que pudiesen un poco explicar y abundar en qué incentivos y a cuánto dinero podría ascender esos incentivos que va a estar recibiendo esta compañía.
Sí, muy buenas tardes. Estamos hablando de que la primera fase de este proyecto, y tomando en consideración de que se está proyectando que en su totalidad se estarán invirtiendo cerca de 140 millones de dólares en la visión que se está presentando, hubo una aportación a través del Fondo Cinematográfico de la Ley 171 de 2014 para apoyar la primera fase de desarrollo y se le otorgó un grant de $500,000.
La segunda fase del proyecto, que es la construcción del estudio, se basa en la Ley 27, que provee créditos de infraestructura apoyada por auditoría. O sea que el concesionario o el solicitante tiene que hacer su inversión completa en la economía, auditarla, y luego de eso recibe un crédito contributivo. El crédito contributivo en Puerto Rico de proyectos de infraestructura es de 25%. O sea que primero hay una fase de limpieza y restauración y después la fase de construcción.
¿Alguna pregunta adicional del tema? No hay preguntas adicionales del tema. Ok. ¿Tú tienes? De otro tema. De otro tema. Ok. Vamos entonces a iniciar las preguntas de otros temas. Del tema. Telemundo.
Saludos. Se está invirtiendo aquí en la construcción de este estudio, pero quisiéramos saber entonces quiénes van a utilizarlo, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo se invierte en ese tipo de producción de cine aquí en Puerto Rico, si eso ya se contempló?
No habla español, pero the people going to use the studio is going to be the world community of film development, content. We've had discussions with all of the major streaming companies, names that you would know, Sony, Netflix, et cetera, The film industry is in a great changing flux situation in that if you went back 10 years and looked at how many movies were being made, and now you look at how many films and streaming and episodes for the Netflix, the Sonys, the Hulus of the world, there is more activity in the film industry today than there has ever been in history. So in terms of the users, it's going to be that. It's also going to be local Puerto Ricans, There are local Puerto Rican film directors, local Puerto Rican, film writers. There's going to be the plethora of every aspect of film and cinematography you can imagine. And the people who are going to invest in it are me and my group and the appropriate banks to get the building done. This site, as I said, it's over 500,000 square feet. The investment in this project is about 140 million US. So it's a very, very significant project in its own right. So, but it's, come back when it's finished and ask the same questions and you'll get the same answers.
Si Rúa puede añadir en español algún comentario para beneficio de los medios de habla hispana.
Sí, buenos días. Como dijo el señor St.Clair, el panorama de la producción de cine ha cambiado mucho. De hecho, en Puerto Rico en los últimos 18 meses ha cambiado bastante. El programa de cine tiene unos incentivos que proveen para la producción de cine y de series, para servicios de digitales como de streaming. Y estamos pasando por un momento donde la producción de cine se está duplicando. Cuando hay momentos de crecimiento en una industria, pues usualmente vienen atados con desarrollo de infraestructura. Lo que está sucediendo en el día de hoy, con el apoyo del gobernador y el secretario Lavoy y el resto del equipo de gobierno, es añadiendo un elemento adicional para atraer estas producciones que ya vienen de manera robusta a Puerto Rico. Así que esperamos que podamos ampliar nuestro mercado de producción fílmica con la producción de este proyecto de infraestructura, que es muy importante para nosotros porque va a proveer no solamente la filmación dentro de lo que hacemos mucho, que es la filmación de Puerto Rico, usando nuestras bellezas, nuestros paisajes, pero también vamos a tener un segundo componente de filmación interior y ya tenemos mucho interés en el programa, o sea que anticipamos que cuando este proyecto esté construido, pues vamos a tener aún más interés.
Bien, entonces no habiendo preguntas de otros temas, vamos a tomar algunas de otros temas.